Hi everyone. Day 2. So to recap day 1, focusing on gratitude, choosing to be grateful, and recognizing where you're already abundant. Pave the way for more abundance in your life. And if you don't like the word gratitude, I know sometimes my clients don't, use a different word. Appreciation I love that word because it also means to lift in value, to raise in value, right? If a price is appreciated, it goes up. So when you're appreciating something, you're also almost elevating it in your eyes and recognizing the gift that it is in your life. So moving on into day 2, I'd like to discuss ask and receive, because that's the kind of universe this is. And you've probably heard that, The Secret kind of stuff. Abraham, Access Consciousness talks a lot about ask and you shall receive. And the Bible even talks about it. So, and I'm sure other, that's not comprehensive. so whatever I've left out, cool. It's prevalent. So in terms of ask and receive, I'd love for you to start to, and you don't have to make this a task today, but start to look at what it is you'd like to create in your life. What it is you would like to, if you could be, if you could have, if you could create, if you could generate anything, what would you choose? Okay? And over the next few days, we'll unpack this more and more. What's in the way of it? Hint, it's here. What expectations you might have of some of those things. Are they truly yours? So you can even start to, with each item, and if you would, list them out. If you're not a pen and paper person, use your phone. If, do it your way. If you love to mind map. Whatever it is, as you start to list out what you would like to do, be, create, generate, have in your life, also look at each item and ask, is this truly mine? Okay, and I'll give you an example of, for me, something that wasn't. When I first became a coach, it was like in 2005. And I set out to do what a coach should do, right? Get a full practice. And as I started to do that, I recognized, oh my gosh, this isn't even actually my desire. I love coaching. I love working with people. Do I want to do that all day long, 5 days a week? No. Okay? So just look at because sometimes what we desire has shoulds attached to it. I went through all this training, I should do this. I'm a talented, amazing ballerina. Everyone has high hopes and ambitions for me. I should be that, right? Never lived out that one myself or anything, but hey. And so ask and you shall receive. And if you're not receiving, then there are some points of view in the way, and it's totally okay. And if you're not asking, there are also usually points of view in the way. Maybe, we've been taught, I see my kids and they're willing to ask for, oh, we just saw a movie. Well, or we're going to a movie. Can we have the milk duds? Can we have the popcorn? Can I get a hot dog? And it's, for a parent, sometimes it's wow, after the movie, we go to Whole Foods. Can I have a popsicle? Can I have the... And so a lot of us were told by parents, stop asking. And understandably, the parents what do I do with this? Okay, so what if asking were not a wrongness? What if it's totally okay to look and we touched on this yesterday, to look greedy to somebody. Because the thing is, in the very same situation, if you're asking the very same question, one person's attitude is, wow, this person's a pain in the butt, they're greedy, and someone else might be like, sure, awesome, I'm happy to give it to you. So it's just someone's story in their head that they have about you when they're judging you. So would you be willing to ask, and look wrong to people, look greedy, look selfish, because these are all just points of view that people have that are judgments in their head, right? Look, whatever else. I mean, there's so many. I've taught 20 plus foundation classes, so there's so many things that come up around asking, and it's like that I've seen with clients in the classes, and it's like, would you be willing to let all of that go and ask for what you desire? And I even noticed trepidation come up in myself tonight as my acting teacher asked. It's the first night of a new series, and this is my series 2 ever. And she asked, what would you really love to have from this class? And my honest answer would be, I would love to be able to be a competent enough actor after this series to go out and land some advertising gigs, just because it's fun, just because it's something new, in front of the camera. And I did tell her that being comfortable in front of the camera is what I would really like, but I didn't frame it in that other way, because I felt like, this is my second acting class, and it's like, come on! Like, would you be willing to ask for the ridiculous things? Okay, and sometimes it's actually more easy to get the ridiculous things because you have no expectation of how they're going to show up. Whereas some of the smaller things, we have expectations of how hard we have to work, what we have to do, how the challenges that are involved. The ridiculous things, you're just like, oh, wow. And I'll give you a story related to that. So one of my mentor figures is Michael Neill, and he's just lovely. He's written a new book called Creating the Impossible, and he was working with a woman one day, and I'm not going to tell this story exactly as he tells it. He's a brilliant storyteller. He was working with a woman one morning, and she was out of town. She was from out of town and staying in a hotel, and he said, you know what are some of your just outrageous asks? And he was talking about how to be willing to ask for these things, allows them to show up. And she said, well, in that case, if I really got whatever I desire, I would be going out with a sexy movie star tonight instead of going back to my hotel room and being alone. So he was like, yeah, you would. And so she arrives back at the hotel and goes to the pool. And as she's in the lounge chairs, she hears whispering. And so she kind of looks up and she sees this actor walking, through the pool area. And where's the only open lounge chair? It's next to her. So he sits down, they get to chatting, and sure enough, she goes out with him for dinner that night. So what are your outrageous asks that you've never been willing to tell anybody? Would you be willing to ask for those? Even if it's just asking the universe, asking yourself, what actions are required now? And what actions can I take to bring this to fruition? To allow it to actualize with ease, with delight, with magical surprises. And then keep asking and keep tapping into your awareness. Remember, I mentioned 3 A's: ask, asking always that opens the door to more awareness, and then act on that awareness. All right, everybody. Ask and receive, and any judgments, just stories. We'll play more with those in the Facebook group later today. The call will be a little bit earlier so that UK people can have an easier time. I think it's going to be an hour and a half earlier than yesterday, the Facebook Live. And bring your questions. Post your questions in the Facebook group. It makes it much easier for me, because there are a lot of you, if you'll tag me. Okay? So then I'll see it. I'll comment. I'll post. I love to read all of those. So I look forward to hearing some of your asks and watching you create those. Invite those. And, one other activity, just might be fun, is to create a list, just to bring it again into your awareness of where in the past you've asked and it's shown up. And it doesn't have to be huge things, although it could. It could be, I was asking for a great parking spot and it showed up. I asked for, I was asking for chocolate and my friend came over, thanks Kat, and brought me chocolate, and like all these different little and big asks. I asked to be able to, for me, 2 months ago, I asked what would it take to have a fun acting class? And I looked online and the class was starting the next day. So what asks have you already asked and the universe has had your back? They've shown up magically. And would you be willing to recognize that you created that? All right? You asked, you were open, and you received. All right? I look forward to playing with you. And if you haven't joined the Facebook group, please do. It's fun to see everyone's posts, and our Facebook Lives are in there, so that'll allow you to get the most out of this program. All right, have a good one, and I'll talk to you really soon. Aloha.